Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit tre.radio.
Morning, Mark. How are you?
Doing good, how are you?
Yeah, Happy New Year. And unfortunately, we had some technical issues yesterday trying to get hold of you, but you're here now. And actually, we thought, didn't we, that maybe that was the right thing in the end, because been a few little news headlines coming out of the world of sports, Mark. So it's been a busy time, busy start to the year. Yeah,
it was busy, and something that we really didn't expect, because, you know, when you look at manager sackings, they don't usually happen. Never mind two of them at such a high level, so it was very odd to see Amr and Maresca out of a job within 48 hours.
And then Celtic yesterday as well.
Did they?
Celtic, yes. Oh, yeah, that's happened as well. So they're looking for a new manager. So it's been a busy old time. Three big managers have gone from three big clubs have gone.
Does that mean Martin O'Neill's coming back for Celtic?
I don't know. He did a really good spell there, didn't he? I know he's on Talk Sport. I listened to him on Talk Sport quite a lot, and he did really well when he was there. So
because I remember they got an MLS manager in, and I think he lasted 6, maybe 8 matches at most. Which is sad to see, but it was always a risky choice, and I think the fans would be happy if Martin O'Neill came back as well. But I think the only people really feeling sorry for themselves is Chelsea fans, because Maresca brought them the Conference League and the World Cup. Yeah,
just going back to Martin O'Neill, he's actually said, he's gone on record and said that he would have been happily stayed there longer in this spell. So he would have happily stayed there for the rest of the season. So I reckon he could be back. Yeah, maybe Martin O'Neill will be back again at Celtic. We shall see.
It's a good interim change, it is. And speaking of interims, actually, I saw this piece that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said that he was willing to come back to be interim if Darren Fletcher wasn't happy to do it until the end of the season at Man United. So that was an interesting take.
Yeah, absolutely. But Darren Fletcher, I think he has actually taken it, hasn't he? He is the interim manager right now. So I'm excited
for it. You know, he's been at the club for 20 odd years now. He has 2 sons in the academy. You know, he's a good fit.
What went wrong? You are a United fan, Ruben Amorim. Every United fan I've spoken to have all said they didn't like his style of play and he didn't know what he was doing.
I actually have a better question for you. It's more what went right.
Yeah,
because it was 14 months of just no real progress, and I don't think it was a reflection of results in the field that forced this move. It was his latest interview, which was essentially back me or sack me. Like, he wanted to go out and spend possibly another 100 million in the January window, which they're doing well. They're only 5 points off, I think, Champions League or something like that, and it's just not justified to go spend 200 million and another 100 million when you don't have any commercial interest in European football, not even the Conference League. So it's just not really justified to go out and spend another 100 million to bring it close to like nearly 400 million in his tenure, which is what Ten Hag spent, in his first 2 years. So I just don't think that was what they're willing to do. I think it was a thing of, hey, work what you have, and he wanted someone else there. And it was also sort of, backwards moving. You know, we saw in November and December sort of a more hybrid approach to what he was willing to do. You know, he wasn't always playing 3 at the back. And in the last 2 matches against Wolves and Leeds, he went back to what he was doing, and it just wasn't working. I mean, it was a very flat performance against Leeds. It's very uninspiring, one of the most uninspiring United matches since Grimsby, possibly. So I think it was just it was the last straw, and it just broke.
Yeah, and who's going to replace him? That's the big question. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, who's available as well, and who would do it?
I had 2 people in mind. You know, the minute that he was gone, the group chat was exploding with happiness almost, and I started to look at who was on the market. Two stuck out to me. One, Xavi, who was at Barcelona, who's not been in a job for a while. You know, he's available and willing. And then the other would be the man who we need to talk about next, which is Maresca.
Oh, right. Would you like him?
I wouldn't mind him. You know, he's shown that he could win major trophies. He's shown he can survive in the Premier League, and he's had a bad run of form since November. But I definitely think he's in thereabouts in the conversation.
Yeah.
He has to be, because he has shown himself to be a major player. He's shown himself to be like a game-changing manager as well. I was really impressed with Chelsea in the Club World Cup, and I think there's probably two things that led to his exit at Chelsea. One, once again, pressuring the board for more money, and then two, just really not being able to compete for the Premier League, which is I think a pretty big objective for Chelsea's board. He was able to compete for the conference and the Club World Cup, but if you're not able to follow up that form, we just know how brutal Chelsea can be. They're not willing to wait. They want results now.
Yeah.
So I think if Man United are willing to look into someone, Enzo has to be in the conversation. I'm not saying he's the answer, but he definitely has to be in the conversation.
Well, they've spent something like 90 million on paying off managers that Man United have since Alex Ferguson's era. And so, Eric Ten Hag, of course, and so many of that, Ollie, of course, Mourinho. It just seems to be David Moyes as well. There's so many names in there. It's just whatever's happening isn't happening, is it, right now at United? And does it go as far up? So Jim Ratcliffe's got blame for this. He was the one that appointed Amorim, thinking he was going to be a good manager for United, and it hasn't turned out to be the case.
No, I mean, I'm in probably this very small camp of, I think Ten Hag should have been given more time. That's not a popular opinion, but it is my one. I did think it was a bit rash, especially at the time that he was appointed, which was, I believe, just before Christmas as well. Like, it wasn't great timing, the middle of the season coming in. So, it's same old United. That's pretty much what's to be said about it. And I don't think Amorim's too disappointed, just walking away with a £10 million payout, just in time for the new year.
What's next for Chelsea then, do you think?
Chelsea are about to appoint, is it Liam Rosnior?
Yes.
Strasbourg and Ligue 1, which is also owned by the same owners. So it looks like it was an in-house thing. They're very impressed with what he's doing in Ligue 1, and I want to see if that can translate to the Premier League.
Former Derby County, of course. I think he was an understudy at Derby County as a coach. And I think he was an interim manager for us for a while as well. And if I remember rightly, he did really well when he was the interim manager. A name we know well in the East Midlands. Okay, so we'll see what happens there. And we'll keep an eye on Celtic, of course. Do you want to mention any other football matches from the weekend that you watched that caught your attention?
I suppose we have to talk about Brentford and Everton, because, we were talking with Giles about Keith Andrews and how he was one of my favourite managers of the year, and he certainly started the way he ended last year with a 4-2 victory. It was just explosive. It was one of those chaotic matches where Brentford's counter-attack was just formidable. It was ruthless. So I was really impressed with them. And I suppose the rest of the matches, another good one was Bournemouth versus Arsenal. We've talked about what title contenders need to do. Arsenal have been doing that for a while now. You're going to wonder when it's going to go against them, leaving it so close shaves. But they got away with a close one. The City-Chelsea match, that was probably more explosive for the end result, which was, of course, Maresca being sacked. But Chelsea looked like they could honestly go on and win that match if there was 20 more minutes in it. I was really impressed with them. It was a close call. And probably Villa and Forest would be the last one, because Villa just looked like such serious contenders. Forest were a bit laxy-daisy defensively, but Villa were just formidable.
Who do you think will be bottom three? Obviously, Wolves getting a 3-0 win at the weekend. And they've got a really good player in midfield, which I can't remember his name. So is there any chance that they stay up? Or are they pretty much nailed on to go down now? Most pundits are saying they are. And Burnley, of course, not looking great. And West Ham United as well. Yeah,
West Ham are probably one of the... Burnley and West Ham, I'd say, are worrying the most right now. Wolves are becoming very awkward to play against. 2 good results. That shifts momentum a little bit. There's still a long, long way to go. But it was a statement win from Wolves. Especially against a contender. They have looked dangerous throughout the year. They just haven't been able to put it all together. I remember their match against Chelsea where they were very fluid in their attack, but their defence just let them down. So if they keep putting all those parts together, then yeah, I do think they have a chance. But the thing is, if it was that easy, every team would be doing it. I think they still have a very large mountain to climb, and it's a good first win for them, but it is only one win, so I'd still have to peg them as going down.
Right, okay, 2 more things to look at with you, Mark, this morning. Let's talk about the darts, of course. Was it ever in any doubt? Some great players in darts right now as well. Luke Humphrey is to name another Luke. But it's just been great watching Yali Pali, of course, and Luke Littler, who we all thought would go and get it again, has gone and got it again. Could he go on to be, Phil the Power Taylor, I think, won 16 of these. He's a long way off that yet, but he's a young lad. He could go on and do great things, couldn't he?
I think Phil Taylor has 79 major PDC titles, and Luke at 18 has 10.
Yeah.
So there's definitely questions, and there's only 4 people who have went back-to-back with the Worlds, which is Phil Taylor, Adrian Lewis, Gary Anderson, and now Luke Littler. So there's definitely, at 18, there's comparisons of, hey, we're not talking if this kid can be great. It's like, how great can he be?
And how long?
Question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and, I think, Gian Van Veen, first off, didn't play badly at all. He was averaging very highly, and he even won the first set. He was very impressive. But when you have your opponent multiple trebles, multiple 100+, 120+ checkouts, you're just not going to be able to compete against that for a sustained period of time. And he's 23. He's won back-to-back Youth World Championships. He's, is the youngest World Championship ever, a 23-year-old and an 18-year-old. So there's a lot for Van Veen to look back at and be immensely proud. Yeah. But it was just, Littler was just too good.
Absolutely.
You've been saying it for the last year, and it still continues to be true because he's just unmatched.
Yeah, he's just brilliant, isn't he? And he just goes for it, and he's got such confidence. And I think we'll be talking about him for many, many years to come. Now, this one I've got no idea about, so you're going to be teaching me something new this morning. Premier League announcement, unless when you say it, I might recognise it, but what is it, Mark?
The Premier League is basically the 8 best players of the darts throughout the year.
Yeah.
They get to go in this thing called the Premier League, where for a period of time they go to different places and different venues and they play each other. And I think it's really picked up steam more than ever this year, because now people are really caring about, who are going to be the 8 players.
They do that in the tennis, don't they? They do it in the tennis. Yeah, so I think that's a good idea. And anything, of course, I think darts has been on an upward trajectory anyway for the last few years, but even more so now since Luke Littler. And this kind of thing will just add to that, won't it? Of course, its popularity.
Yeah, so we have the 2 Lukes in this. We have Van Veen and Van Gerwen. We have Stephen Bunting, there's a lot of question marks over. Josh Rock as well. And then we have Gerwin Price. And then we have Aspinall.
Yeah.
Johnny Clayton as well. No, Johnny Clayton, sorry, not Aspinall. It's Clayton. Yeah. Which there's good representation all around, really, which is kind of what you want. And the big question marks over Stephen Bunting. Because a lot of people don't think Bunting has deserved it just on his, work across the year. He's got 6 tournament wins, but I think a lot of people would have preferred if it was Nopert or James Wade in there.
Yeah.
So that's really the big controversy is, what is it that gets you into the Premier League? Is it tickets to sell a venue, or is it actual performances? And that's what the big question is now. The first 4 or 5 there, Gerwin and Van Veen, Humphreys, Littler, there's no questions about that.
Yeah.
The questions are all around Gerwin Price, who was obviously knocked out of the World Cup early by a forklift driver. That's why I love the World Cup. But just reputation doesn't protect you at all.
Yeah.
And then obviously Stephen Bunting, which he's entertainment. He's pure entertainment. But
absolutely. Yeah.
It is, people want to see, I guess, higher expectations now.
Final thing, going back to Premier League football, Mark, and we'll let you go. Manchester City, defence-wise, they're struggling a little bit with numbers, which we never talk about with City very often. It's a very deep team, but they've got quite a few injuries, and they're not getting the wins. They've dropped a few points on the race against Arsenal, who are doing very well, thank you very much. So, what are your thoughts on City?
Yeah, the thing is, every time I seem to talk bad about City, they end up bouncing back 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 steps stronger. So I'm not sure I should
Never
say
write
anything.
them off. Yeah.
Yeah, because they just are that powerful, because Pep he's an adapter, and that's the great thing about City. That's what's made him so great, is that whatever conditions are going through, they adapt to them.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly not counting them out just yet, especially since Arsenal are winning these matches by such tight margins, that it could be a fact that one time that goes against them, because Bournemouth could have easily come back and pushed a little bit harder. And then, Arsenal are down 3 points, and it's right back to a close race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not over yet. We'll be keeping an eye on all that. Mark, as always, thank you very much, my friend. Have a lovely Tuesday, and we'll speak to you next Monday, mate.
Sounds good.
Cheers. Mark there from Ireland, bringing us up to date.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this programme, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit tre.radio.